I'm huge. I might be too huge. Am I too close to the camera? Am I too far away? Can this pretty can this pretty face get too close to the camera? If you can't just see the nose, I'm not close enough, is what I always like to say. Hello, Anne-Marie. Hello, Bonnie Miles. Hello, Julie Flanagan. Hello, Jenny Riley. Oh, good morning, Julie Flanagan. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Big Raoul. I'm trying a lot of things today. Hey, thank you for the rose, Julie Flanagan. I so appreciate you sending me a rose. Trying a lot of different things today. Got a ring light set over there. Got a fancy shirt. What else am I trying? I'm not putting the camera in the midst of the ring light. I thought it would give me a little nice bright side light. I was going to do it. I'm from my living room, which I don't often go live from my living room. There's kind of a dull light coming from the windows on an early December day with just a little bit of snow covering the ground. But hello, Jordan Thomas. I didn't think that the dull light was going to be enough today. It's going to be enough today. Several reasons for this extra festive, this extra fancy, hey, Jordan Thomas, thank you for sending me, I don't know what exactly you sent me. You sent me a TikTok. I appreciate that. You actually sent me 2 TikToks, so I appreciate you twice. Yeah, but hold on here. Let me have some water. Let me get my bearings. Let me figure out exactly what I'm doing. Started out just popping a pair of jeans on. Today's my day off. I mean, I really don't get days off. As I was just explaining to my wife, I'm a amazing whirl of activity. Oh yes, Hey RJ, thank you for joining. And what did RJ send me? 2 gobbled gobbles. Not very seasonal, or a little past season if you ask me. But I think gobble gobbles and pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie and ho-ho-hos and Santa hats and gratitude and feeling good and is good 365 days of the year. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the pumpkin spice latte, and I appreciate you guys for joining me this morning. Let me take a little quick swig of water, lest I feel parched, thirsty, probably dry, arid. Often the situation when one needs a sip of water, parched, might be the word of the day. Ryan Melissa asks what I do for a living. No Target. No, I no longer work at Target. I left Target in September. A bunch of reasons. Had a bad knee. Worked there 7 months. Wasn't a long-term plan at all. What do I do for a living right now? I love the stuffing out of my 2 little babies at home. And I also pour myself into content creation, and am trying to figure out by testing certain things and playing around and going live and doing first sip videos and posting shorts and TikToks and reels and what have you, that I'm making some small difference in the world, and I think that I am. But thank you for that question, Ryan. But anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and hello, Myra from Tampa Bay, and I appreciate you saying I look like Bruce Willis. My stepson was polling his friends the other day. They watched my show. I'm huge amongst the high school and junior highs. The junior highs and high schools in the area. Oh, yes, I am. I kind of say that tongue in cheek, but I kind of mean it. And but anyway, he and his friends were discussing me which is kind of creepy, I admit. But anyway, they were talking about me, and my stepson said, "Oh, you look exactly like Will Ferrell, except for your mouth." And he goes, "And this friend thought you looked like Will Ferrell, and this friend thought you looked like Will Ferrell. None of them thought you looked like Bruce Willis." And I'm not saying I look like Bruce Willis. I don't think I look like Will Ferrell. I mean, we both have a youthful exuberance and silliness to us, but I think it ends there. Uh, but anyway, I appreciate you saying, Blue Wave, Myra from Tampa, Florida, that I look like Bruce Willis. I appreciate it. I like Bruce Willis. And I wish him nothing but the best. But anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is, what is this? What is this? What is this? I don't even know what this is. I was just putting the thumbnail together. Not the thumbnail, but the picture you guys are seeing on TikTok. And we called it Nap Time Chat with Ken. We called it Nap Time Coffee with Ken. But as a marketer, I don't think starting my title of my video with nap time is a good marketing strategy. You can share with me your thoughts. Thank you, Robert Patrick. You can share with me your thoughts. So we're kicking it around, and the truth of the matter is, this is Coffee with Ken, Brunch with Kenny. We nap, you talk. I appreciate that, Anne-Marie. Then we can work together to come up with something better than Nap Time Coffee with Ken or Nap Time Chat with Ken or something. But again, the truth of the matter is, this is Coffee with Ken, no matter what the name is. Unless, of course, I'm not drinking coffee, and sometimes I'll be known to be drinking water. Sometimes I'll drink a non-alcoholic beer when I'm feeling naughty. And oh yeah, there's an H in naughty. There's H in naughty with two vertical lines because it means I'm twice as bad. But anyway, yeah, this is a show I've been doing for 4.5 years, and it's a show I do in various forms and formats and what have you, and I go live, and I try and have a lot of fun with it, and I'm playing around with it, and honestly, I think I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at talking to the camera, being animated, saying funny things, saying inspirational things, saying educational things, like defining what parched means to our viewing audience. However, very rarely do I have to define things to my viewing audience. You know why? Because I'm spreading the rumor around that we have the most intelligent audience on social media. And I think that we do. There's many times I'll be thinking of something, and what was it yesterday? Oh, Norman Rockwell. I was referring to life. I was saying something like life isn't always I wanted to say a Rockwell painting. But the name Rockwell was slipping on my mind. And again, I'm not saying you have the most intelligent host in all of social media. I'm saying we have the most intelligent audience. So anyway, I'm sitting there going, Americana. I did a Cubs picture and a can of Campbell's soup, and that threw off one viewer because he said Andy Warhol, and he may have painted the Campbell's soup picture, but I don't know. But either way, I was trying to describe it as Americana, a bite of Americana sort of paintings. And one of my audience members, I will tell you, it was Jack Taylor, said, Rockwell. And yes, reminded me that Norman Rockwell was making the paintings that I'm referring to. But anyway, again, this is Coffee with Ken. We're going to come up... It's a show I've been doing at about 10:30 in the morning most mornings. And the reason I'm doing it is life changes, and life is changing for me, and life changes on a daily basis, and my schedule has changed. And I was doing the show at 8 o'clock live every morning till about a couple weeks ago. And my wife got offered an opportunity she couldn't say no to, one she was super excited about, and I think one she's going to really do awesome at. And she decided to take it, and gave me an opportunity to spend some time with my beautiful babies. I have 7 children all told, 2 older girls from a first marriage, 3 stepkids from a second, and 2 beautiful babies named Augie and Eve that are about a year and 2.5 right now. And they are up napping. They are up napping. Hello, Lieutenant Dan. They are up napping right now, which gives me the freedom to scurry my little butt, which isn't that little these days, because I currently weigh about 218 pounds, which is the high end of the range. I think my ideal weight as a man, that's the only thing I could think of calling myself as a man, might be 205. And I'm 218. And I was working at Super Target from February to September. And I was working in the cereal aisle. And 2 aisles over was the candy aisle. And my favorite candy, outside of perhaps Almond Joys, are peanut M&Ms. Oh, yes, they are. And I've talked about this before. I've done videos that have gone viral over my love of peanut M&Ms. You know why? Because peanut M&Ms are delicious. And they're also a good meal substitute, or at least so I thought while I was working at Super Target. And I'd get the party-size bag, and I'd put the party-size bag in my car. And when I would take a coffee break, I'd scurry my butt, at the time ever expanding butt, out to my car and just go wah, 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 and eat as much peanut M&Ms as I could. And they were delicious, and because they had peanuts, which are protein, it made me feel I was doing good things for myself. And then one day, I got on the scale, and I saw the scale jumped up to 228 pounds. And to this day, I don't know if the scale was broken. I like to think the scale was broken. Between you and me and the huge viewing audience, we can pretend that the scale was broken that day. But alas, it did say 228 pounds. And I don't think it was honestly broken, because for the next 6 weeks or so, I was in the 220s. And now I'm down to 218. And I've kind of been there for the last 3 months. And I'd like to get to 205. And I told my wife today, and today is my day off. You know why it's my day off? Although I don't get days off. It's my day off because it's my wife's day off. And she got to lay the babies down to sleep. And I got to take my dog Holly for a walk around the neighborhood. And I got to do the garbage, do the dishes, and do some other stuff while she was tending to our 2 beautiful little babies named Augie, and Eve. I forgot the name of my son. You know why I forgot the name of my son? First of all, Lieutenant Dan, thank you so much for following the Live Creator. I appreciate that. Lieutenant Dan obviously makes me think of Forrest Gump. I wonder if this is the Lieutenant Dan who got his legs taken off in Nam, carried out of the jungle by Forrest Gump, who was angry at Forrest, whose life led to a downward spiral of alcohol and probably, I don't know, so I'll just leave it at alcohol abuse and hating life, till he found a purpose helping Forrest Gump on the shrimp boat. Lieutenant Dan, I live in Naperville, Illinois, which is a town of about 150,000, about 35 miles west of Chicago. And it is a town that wins a lot of awards. It's a town I've lived in since 2008. And yeah, that's where I live. Robert Patrick is aware, extra 20 pounds for the pull-ups. Go tell that man I said hi. Robert Patrick just said it's an extra 20 pounds of weight I got to do for pull-ups. And I'll tell you what, and I got to get to my coffee. But I was at the gym yesterday, and I did a great workout, a lot of bench press, a lot of cardio, and overall strength training on the rowing machine, which is my new favorite exercise. And I got to the pull-ups. And about 3 months ago when I joined the gym, almost 4 months ago now, I said I want to do 1 pull-up in the next month. And to be honest, I won't make any excuses. I haven't quite got my chin up over the bar. And I do believe carrying the extra 20 pounds of weight probably isn't enhancing my ability to do pull-ups. And again, when you carry an extra 20 pounds of weight, and I realized this as I was doing bench press yesterday, I start with 245, this is going to be boring but tough, 45 pounds of plates on the bar, and I do a warm-up, and then I add 25s, and I go, wow, this is a lot harder. And then I add 2 10s, and I'm going, holy smokes, this made it so much harder. And again, just adding that extra 20 pounds of weight makes a big difference. So if I'm trying to pull up 20 pounds of weight, just flab around my belly, it ain't helping my pull-ups. I know that. So we're working on it. We're not working on it very quickly. I ate, confession time. I had a really late lunch, and for a while I've been kind of using like a 3 or 4 o'clock fairly big lunch. And I use that sometimes as a dinner substitute. Because if you eat a big lunch at 3 or 4, you almost don't need to eat dinner. However, we were having a little movie party at my house yesterday. We were trying to watch Braveheart with our middle son. He might be a little too young for Braveheart and wasn't in the mood and was kind of kicking and fussing, but that's not the point of the story. We were sitting down watching Braveheart, and while my wife was pulling it up on our cable system, I snuck off to the freezer. Because I knew I had Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia. Oh, yes, I did, that I bought the other day, sitting in the freezer. I took a bite, and I took another bite, and I probably took another, 30, 40 bites till the Ben & Jerry's was no more. And I sat there like a beached whale on the couch, going, oh, can't eat another bite. Oh, but that wasn't true. Because my wife earlier in the day had brought out some soft, that nice kind of cheese. I don't even know what flavor it is. Sometimes it'll come with like red streaks in it. But it's soft and it is so good on crackers. And once you have one, it's really hard to start or stop. So anyway, but this show, for those that have been, do I like angel food cake? Angel food cake? Sandman, I was a bad boy. Somebody should have spanked me. I was so bad. And for that, I want to go back to the gym today. But I realize in my quest, I could write a story. I think I am writing a story. 1 video at a time, Lieutenant Dan, and thank you for appreciating it. And RJ, in case I didn't fully answer your question, do I like angel food cake? It's not my favorite. I prefer pound cake. Angel food cake's kind of Now that you've asked me, it might be my least favorite of the cakes. But who knows? For those that have been watching a while, hey, Joe Marie, thank you so much for joining. We get some new people hopping on, and sometimes I forget to welcome them aboard. But the woman named Jill Marie just joined, and I want to give her a big coffee with Ken. Welcome. Thank you. Panch shared the live. I'm supposed to encourage more viewers to share the live. Well, Panch, thank you for sharing the live. Ironically, I was on Panch's page today. And Panch has a video of me. Their only video is a video of me on their page. And originally I was going, oh, that's kind of creepy. And it still might be creepy. But some of the biggest content creators that I follow have people setting up fake accounts by posting their videos. And I figure if Panch is willing to share my live and post a video of me on their page, must mean something good. Because imitation, as we all know, is the highest form of flattery. So thank you, Panch, for sharing the lives and for posting a video of me on your page. I appreciate you. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. And I have been talking for 17, 18, 19, 20 minutes without even getting to one of the big parts of the show. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hear my baby fussing upstairs. Little does my baby know that this isn't only nap time for baby. It's also the shortly will be renamed Nap Time Coffee with Ken. So I better get to it. For those that have been watching a while, and Sandman obviously has been watching a while, and I so appreciate that, Sandman. Hey, General Beard, thank you for joining. For those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. Although I like talking, it always makes me feel a little good. A little good. See? We don't have the most intelligent host in social media because I'd say things like, makes me feel a little good. But we do have the most intelligent audience. So thank you. But anyway, you guys know it's a show about sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I just poured myself a nice hot pot. I don't know what my deal is. I don't know where my head is. My head might be upstairs going, I wonder which baby that is crying. I just poured myself a nice hot cup of coffee, and I am excited to take my first sip because I haven't had any since I got done walking my dog, taking out the recycle, taking out the garbage, and doing a load of laundry. Not even sure how to do that. Well, Panch, I think you did. But either way, I appreciate you sharing my live. Maybe it happens when you share my live. I thought I was on your page today and you had I don't know, maybe not. But either way, thank you for sharing the live. Thank you all for sharing the live, and thank you for joining. And I hope you guys have a nice hot cup of coffee in front of you. Cheers to us. Oh. It's the pumpkin spice. Oh, is it the pumpkin spice? I know I threw you guys a curveball, those that watched my first sip video. I drank the Starbucks Sumatra this morning. And I know it's a curveball for those of you that are dedicated to my show, and I appreciate those of you who are dedicated, and I appreciate those that are first-time watchers like Lieutenant Dan. But I, the other day, was at Mariano's, and they were clearing out their inventory of pumpkin spice Starbucks coffee, and I gobbled up. Not literally gobbled up, but gobbled up in the sort of 2 weeks after Thanksgiving sense of the word. As much of the pumpkin spice coffee as they'd sell me, and it was only 3 bags. But for those that wanted to run to the Mariano's that happen to live down the street from it, don't bother because they don't have any pumpkin spice Starbucks coffee left because I bought it all, and I'm not going to share. I'll share with my family. I'll share with my son. My little 9-year-old stepson, I was getting his breakfast ready, and he goes, "Can I at least have a cup of coffee?" And I said, "No, William. No, you can't, because you won't like it. It's the Starbucks Sumatra. You don't appreciate the dark roast coffee." And I don't blame him. He's only 9 years old. His taste for coffee hasn't grown and matured. But he did throw a big fuss about eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm trying to teach him the beauty that is cereal. Hello, Chris Jackson. The beauty that is cereal. For some reason, my family doesn't gobble up cereal like I used to as a kid. If I didn't have cereal to eat as a child, we wouldn't have had breakfast. And I'm still big fan all these years later. And I don't think it was a coincidence when I was working at Super Target that I was manning the cereal aisle. My direct boss, and she'd come through, and she'd go, I don't really like cereal. And I'd give her a nasty stare. And get the hell out of my aisle, punk. That was my Clint Eastwood imitation. How was it? Anyway. Hey, Rick, how are you? Which gets me to Dirty Harry. It's a movie I want to watch with said 9-year-old son who likes guns. I mean, he don't like guns in a creepy sort of dangerous way. You don't want him in your school. But he likes guns in a typical 9-year-old sort of way, like cap guns and pretending, researching them and just kind of having sort of fun with them. And I think for a boy that's 9, it would give him a little bit of culture and a little bit of, film knowledge and cultural awareness and an awareness into all things cool if we could sit down and watch a Dirty Harry together. And he could sit on my lap and we could, hey, Chris Jackson, thanks for 8 hot peppers. I so appreciate, or sent 8 chilies. I so appreciate. For a while, I don't know what happened. About 2 months ago, I think it was led by RJ. And RJ, if you're still watching, I appreciate it. It was led by RJ. There was almost a competitive thing about sending me gifts. And I'd have little hats and little mustaches and little baseball caps and little handheld hearts. And people were sending me gifts left and right. It felt like it was Christmas early. It's kind of cool, and I don't blame you. I mean, money's tight. Money is tight. I was in real estate for 17 years. Oh, yes, I was. And I left it at the beginning or the end of last year. I don't know if I left officially real estate at the end of last year or the beginning of this year. But I didn't renew my license this year. And I decided after 17 years I'd had enough of being a realtor. And I think it was a really good decision. Hey, Chris Jackson, I don't know. He just sent me a whole galaxy. That's awesome. Chris Jackson, I so appreciate. You can buy me for even half a galaxy. He sent a whole galaxy. I love space, and I love looking up at the sky, and I love looking at the stars and the sun and the moon, and I'm fascinated by it. But I'm also confused by it, because sometimes they'll say, look into this telescope, you can see the Milky Way. But if we are part of the Milky Way, I don't really know how we can see it. And I've never looked in a powerful enough telescope to see the Milky Way. As far as I know, we're just flying around somewhere, little speck of dust in the Milky Way, which is our galaxy. So, anyway, I hear noise upstairs. I heard a door opening and the sound of the noise machine we have in the baby room. I wonder what that means. Hello, Andrea. Can we meet sometime, Chris Jackson? It's possible we can. Occasionally I'll meet a viewer. I don't know. Hello, Andrea. Hello, Aaron Jones. But I do appreciate you sending me the galaxy either way. I really do. I don't know what a galaxy means, but it sounds like it might be valuable. Might be a serious investment into Coffee with Ken. And I'm putting a serious investment into Coffee with Ken. And again, when you transition from a career as a realtor, into a full-time content creator, it's harder than I thought. And I think the more research I do, the more I see that there's ways to go about trying to create. Wow, Chris Jackson, he's sending me enjoy music, chilies, roses, and clappers. Chris Jackson, I might stop by with a whole vat of Dunkin' Donuts coffee for you today if you keep sending me these lightning bolts and TikToks and things. Corn, cat paws. Wow, this is awesome. These are the most gifts I've gotten in months. RJ's going to be jealous. You're going to have to square off with RJ. But I don't know that RJ ever sent me an earth or a melon, a sweet melon, not just any melon, a sweet melon. I do appreciate it. I'm serious, because I work hard at this, and it's hard. And again, we're having fun with it. And when I say work hard, it's a labor of love. I'm not trying to get anybody to feel sorry for me. But it is a labor of love. And we are tweaking things and playing with things and trying to figure out things and learn hashtags and titles and content. But I've always thought my content was pretty solid. Wow, I appreciate it. I always thought my content was pretty solid, uh, but it's hard to package. It's hard to package. And again, I think it'd be easy if you were a content creator and you said, "Hey, I want to talk about anxiety," and every day or twice a week or maybe once a week or maybe even once a month, you put together a highly edited 5 steps to dealing with anxiety video, that edited and had fancy pop-ups and cool clips, and you researched anxiety and you became an expert on anxiety. And I'm really not an expert on anxiety, but I am a guy that struggled with anxiety for most of my life. And I've worked on it, and I share videos about dealing with anxiety because I have firsthand experience in dealing with anxiety. And I'm not an expert in sobriety. I don't have a sobriety therapist license on my wall, but I'm a guy that drank too much for, I don't know, 35 years probably, and quit drinking just over 2 years ago. And I'm certainly not an expert on relationships, but I've had my fair share, and I've been through divorce, and I've had great highs and great lows. And I'm able to share those experiences with an audience. And I'm not an expert in fatherhood. I screw up as often as I succeed, but I do my best. And I have 3 stepkids and 4 of my own kids, and trying to figure out the best way to go through life as a father and to love on my kids and get them ready for life, on their own. And so I do my best, whether it's with social media or with content creation or being a husband or a father or a friend or what have you. And sometimes our best doesn't feel like it's good enough, but it's all that we can do. And again, I talk a lot about it. I'm doing my best to appreciate the man I am today, while trying to get a little better for tomorrow and set myself up in a better way for tomorrow. And maybe it's little things like popping on a ring light or putting on a collared shirt or talking a little longer or going live when there was all the temptations in the world not to go live today. And it would have been easy, and it's my wife's day off, and it's my day off, and, there's, but I feel this is important, and I feel I have a message to share and an ability to share it. And, I have struggles like everybody does, but I think God put me on a path that got me talking to my camera 4.5 years ago when I was living in a dark apartment and struggling with a lot of things. And one thing has led to another. And here I am 4.5 years later, still talking to my phone, still sharing my experiences, still sharing stories of life, of challenges, of struggles, but more importantly, of overcoming those struggles, of getting my ass kicked, but pulling myself back up and standing back up and going at it again the next day. And that's what Coffee with Ken is. And that's why I'm so committed to it, because I think it means something. And I get the chills just saying that. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching on this Tuesday. I go live a lot of times at around 10:30 when I can lay my babies down to sleep. And I feel good that I went live today. I feel great that I went live today. And I got to drink a little more coffee and hopefully make a difference in your day, in your life, in your week, in this moment. And I hope that I did. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining today. I'm going to have another sip of coffee. I appreciate you. I hope your week's starting off great. I hope you had an awesome night's sleep. Ohio Lindsay and Jimmy, I'm glad you both caught the end of my live. I always post these broadcasts over on YouTube, so please follow me on YouTube as well. So if you want to see the whole live, watch it over on YouTube, because again, I rebroadcast these on YouTube. And I appreciate you guys for following me, for the love and support you give me, for subscribing to my page. Chris Jackson, I appreciate your generosity today, because I know you were sending me gifts and it looked like fireworks and it was a lot of fun. But I know it's, at the end of the day, it's also hard-earned money, and I appreciate that, because it means a lot to me and it helps me do what I'm doing. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you subscribe to my page here and on YouTube. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope you're feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.